It's not surprising coming from a company like Lucasfilm that they hire people, specifically individuals like Leslie Headland, the former personal assistant of Harvey Weinstein, as well as one like Amandla Stenberg that continues to attack fans, and must I repeat it again, I talked about this on my Twitter, I think everyone should know about this. She literally created a cringe-worthy garbage music video on Instagram, taking of course shots at Star Wars fans and the Star Wars fandom, and this is a thing that has been going on for 2 days now. I don't know if you guys knew about this, but this is the type of behavior that Lucasfilm allows. And this is exactly why I keep saying that as long as Kathleen Kennedy is at Lucasfilm, Star Wars will never and absolutely will never recover. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So, one thing about the Acolyte episodes 1 through 4, nothing really happened. I mean, let's be very real about this. Episodes 1 through 3 is the worst episode of all. Episode 4, I will be very honest here, it's not quite as offensively bad as episode 3, nowhere near close to that. But again, nothing really happened. It was more or less of a filler episode that leads to the supposed villain turning good at the snap of a finger just like that, to really condense that episode in a matter of 10 seconds. Now, what's interesting about this has a lot to do with the damage control that Amandla Stenberg is heading into when it comes to the Acolyte episodes 1 through 4, the backlash coming from the fans, and really playing the victim yet again. Let's jump into this. Now, specifically, of course, on top of everything here, with the Acolyte episode 4 now released by Disney and Lucasfilm and still not impressing fans through both their agenda by inserting pronouns, which is the least of its problems, and poor execution with the writing and directing being the main problem, one major development now has much to do with actress Amandla Stenberg yet again attacking fans after Acolyte episodes 1 through 4 and how it failed to deliver. Now, Amandla delivered the following about, of course, the Acolyte backlash. I just think all the criticism is coming from a large fan base of bigots and fake fans that have no idea what Star Wars is even about or where it could go. I have listened to all the criticism and not once have they pointed out anything that made sense, especially coming from so-called fans that know everything about Star Wars. I think the writers and Leslie Headland did an excellent job with this series to not only address the LGBTQ community and the non-binary community, but to also create a series that finally detaches from that sense of entitlement from fans. For far too long have we seen creators fall into becoming the victim of toxic males in this community. I saw that JJ and Ryan went through that. She's talking about Abrams and Johnson, by the way, with their films. And we all knew going into this thing that Leslie was, of course, in for from a loud minority of fans that aren't even really fans. I just think they want their characters to appear a certain way that relates to them. That's the problem that we have in this world today, and it is seriously a problem that needs to be addressed, and I am proud how Leslie gave me the courage to stand up to that type of entitlement through the entire production of this thing. If these so-called fans are frustrated now with LGBTQ representation, well, we got more on the way. So I say just deal with it or leave, because this is not your Star Wars. This is Leslie's vision and the creator's vision with what they wanted to do. I think Dave Filoni did an excellent job as well guiding Leslie and providing notes on each episode and really providing her the right path on where to go. Again, guys, there you have it. I keep saying this time and time again, Dave Filoni is not fixing or saving Star Wars. He is all for this nonsense, and honestly, he has been for multiple years. Has he done some good things here and there, sprinkled under the Star Wars brand? Sure. But at the same exact time, he's done a lot of things, if you really pay attention very closely, that fall into Kathleen Kennedy's agenda, especially now with the Acolyte. And it's only going to get worse. Moving on. She continues, I just am so proud to be a part of a project that finally detaches from the fans' demands that were getting out of hand for a while with the films and the previous Star Wars series that other creators put out at Lucasfilm. It's very true that we are dealing with a loud, toxic minority of males that obviously have a problem with women and LGBTQ. It's offensive coming from an actress like myself, who really respected Leslie's vision. I may not know anything really about Star Wars, but this role was catered to me. Both May and Osha are valued characters, amazing characters that finally offer values in the Star Wars world, unlike any other female character before. I feel like all female characters beforehand in this franchise were pushed to the sideline, and finally we have an honest vision of what a female hero in this franchise is supposed to be like, up front and center, on the center of attention. Now, again, about Amandla Stenberg here, she's obviously just spewing nonsense. She has no clue what she's talking about. At the same exact time, she is playing the victim again. She's saying how, women were never represented well in Star Wars. Women were never represented well in the film industry up until now. I feel like she's pulling another Jennifer Lawrence situation where she claims that she's the first female action star. Well, now she's like, I'm the first female action star in Star Wars. That's kind of what she's alluding to. She didn't say that by word, but that's what she's alluding to here when it comes to the Acolyte episodes 1 through 4. And let me just say one thing about this. Episode 4's climax, just how it ended like that, where you had Smilo Ren. Everyone's calling him that, by the way, because it's proper. Where he just abruptly uses the force push technique, cut to credits. It's very odd in nature. Moving on, she goes on to conclude, it was important for us to create an entire cast and crew that didn't really know anything about Star Wars. It was the most unbiased project I ever worked on, and it was so refreshing and something I congratulate Leslie Headland for making that possible. So again, guys, there you have it. Again, this is like the upteenth time that they have confirmed that they 100% deliberately hired non-Star Wars fans that know nothing about this franchise just to have an unbiased production, an unbiased cast and crew on the sets of this thing. And that's why you have people like Charlie Barnett, who plays Yord, very odd name by the way, Yord, who plays that character, who said Anakin destroyed the Death Star. He said that twice, not once, twice. These are the types of actors that they hire. Heck, even with the Disney Star Wars movies, the actors knew the history of the franchise, who did what on a basic level, and this is what you get in return at the end of the day. But look, like I've said before, Amandla Stenberg, Leslie Headland, and among others, there are endless individuals that I can go on and on about that are hired by Lucasfilm that should not be hired by Lucasfilm to this day. These are the types of people that Lucasfilm feels is appropriate to keep in their company, and after she debuted with that music video on Instagram, obviously dissing Star Wars fans and really kind of showcasing her built-up anger toward the backlash of the Acolyte, it's very obvious there, and everyone's been talking about that, by the way. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out if you really want to know what we're all talking about. But overall, I think that the Acolyte, at the end of the day as well, it's not going to live up to anyone's expectations. Everyone thinks there's going to be so many surprising twists and turns. Let me just say one thing here. The Sith at the very end of episode 4, it is so obvious that it's Quimir. Alright? The guy that looks like Ezra Miller with the hair. It is him. There's no doubt about it. You're going to find this out, by the way, by episode 5 or 6. But anyway, guys, drop a comment below, fill me below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for it today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.